guys, hi everyone. I guess we're back for the part number 4 of our history of money, or is money being the root of all evil. So on this part number 4, we want to touch about the rise of paper money and inflation. So this is what we'll see. I will share my screen in a few seconds for you to have a look at what we're going to talk about. So just to come back on what we've talked about on part number 2. On part number 2, we could see the expansion or the complexity of human civilization growing. So naturally, you needed a way to exchange goods and to address some issues of transporting goods, and then also to address the something to facilitate the exchange between the human communities. Could be between villages, between within a country, within a growing empire, or over long distances. So we could see the rise of commodity money, but it had some limitations, such as the variability in quality and difficulty of storage, and also to assume certain long distance trade that could be complicated. If you have heard of sheep that you want to trade over long distances, a sick animal or hurt or injured animal will be difficult to trade. So on part number 3, what we could see is, to address this limitation, the monetary system has been marked by a significant advancement with the invention of coin. And the invention of coin was addressing these limitations that what we were seeing in terms of variability in quality. You want to have a consistent value of the coins that were exchanged. You wanted also to address the need to have a standardized way to facilitate exchange within a given region, empire, or country or community. So that's why you needed coin. Okay. So now on part number 4, what we're going to see is the evolution of the monetary system to an additional advancement that will be the development of paper money and the stock markets. However, the modern monetary system is also categorized by its complexity, its susceptibility to crisis, and its potential for exploitation of others. Because naturally, you have a given country or empire that want to exert a certain level of control over the global rising economy, because by leveraging a system that will be totally controlled, and the value that you provide is based on trust, then in that case you need a certain level of control. So this will give the rise to the contemporary global economy, characterized by complex financial systems, digital currencies, and central bank digital currencies. Okay. So now let me share my screen, and I'll tell you exactly what we will be digging into. As you can see my screen, we want to see on part number 4 the global impact. We want to approach the development of paper money, the challenges of maintaining its value, and the risk associated with inflation and the increasing human corruption. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's today embark on a journey throughout time to explore one of the humanity's most transformative, innovation, paper money. The simple idea is actually born from a convenient need, would go on reshaping the economies, topple empires, and fundamentally alter the course of human history. Because now you don't need precious metals, because in the past with coin you needed to have precious metals such as silver and gold to make coin. But now with paper money you don't need such a thing. What you need is actually just paper for which you guarantee a certain level of value that will change fundamentally the way that things are exchanged, and how the financial system will grow as a complex element. As we unravel this tale, we will see how paper money became a tool of unprecedented progress and a weapon of societal corruption. So it started actually with the birth of a revolution. We can see our story that could begin in the 7th century in China during the Tang dynasty. Picture bustling, marketplaces, traders, haggling over silks and spices, their purses heavy with copper coin. It was in this environment that a revolutionary idea took root. Merchants were wary of the burden of carrying heavy coins for large transactions just because of the commodity of it. You have to carry it, it's really heavy, and you can be attacked at any moment. So they began to issue paper receipts for money deposited with them. Okay, these receipts could be redeemed later for the original coins. This seemingly simple innovation was dubbed flying money due to its lightness and ease of transportation. Little did these merchants know that their practical solution will set in motion a financial revolution that would span continent, centuries, and actually empires. So now we can move from convenience to control. As we move forward in time to the Song dynasty in the 10th century, we witness a pivotal shift. The government, recognizing the potential of this new form of money or currency, seized control of its issuance. They marked the birth of the world first fiat currency, money backed not by physical commodity, but by governmental decree. This power to create money out of thin air gradually across the globe. Traders and explorers like Marco Polo brought tales of this magical paper gold back to Europe, planting the seeds of a financial transformation that would take centuries to fully bloom. Okay. Now it is as well a double-edged sword. By the time we reach the Renaissance and the age of exploration, paper money has become already a global phenomenon. Its impact is profound and far-reaching. On one end, it's fueling unprecedented economic growth and trade in all directions, between empires, also between countries, between regions. Transactions were once impossible due to the physical limitation of commodity money or coins, are now commonplace because of paper money. Even the Templars, the famous Christian knights that were operating between Europe and the Middle East, they were establishing also the way that transfer could be done due to the use of issuing a paper that would recognize a debt. So you were giving them money, for example, in Europe, and you could receive that money in coin on the other side of the Middle East. So that was also the way to issue some kind of a cable or transfer, leveraging paper. Empires expand, cities flourish, and wealth accumulates at a pace never seen before in human history. But with this progress comes a dark side. The paper money became a tool of manipulation and control. Governments and financial institutions find themselves in a new kind of power, the ability to influence entire economies through the control of the money supply. This power, like all powers, proves corruptible. Now we can even say this is the four horsemen of financial apocalypse. As we delve deeper into the era of paper money, we encounter four major forces that shape its impact on society. First, there's inflation, the silent thief of wealth. The government, tempted by the ease of printing money, often succumb to the allure of creating more currency than the economy can support. This leads to the erosion of savings and the devastation of the middle class, as seen in extreme cases like the Weimar Republic in 1920s. in Germany. Second, we can see an unprecedented concentration of power. Those who control the money supply, for example, the government, central banks, and private institutions wield enormous influence over the lives of ordinary citizens, as we can see right now. The situation that we see, for example, of the US debt and the situation of the middle class around the world is a reminiscence of that. This power often operates in the shadows, shaping policies and economies with very little of public oversight. Third, paper money opens up new avenues for speculation and fraud. Financial instruments become increasingly complex, allowing for manipulation on a grand scale. From the Dutch tulip, mania to modern day financial crisis, we see how paper money systems can create bubbles that when they burst, they leave economy devastated in their wake. Lastly, we witness a dramatic acceleration of wealth inequality. The ability to accumulate and leverage paper wealth create opportunities for the rich to become exponentially richer, often at the expense of the poor and middle class. This growing divide fuels social unrest, and political instability. Now, we can talk about the global takeover. By the 19th and 20th centuries, paper money has become the global standard. We see the rise of central banks, complex monetary policies, and an intricate web of global economic interdependence. So what's happening, for example, in US have an impact on Europe. What's happening in Europe has an impact on Asia and Africa and so forth. The global standard comes and goes, leaving us in a world where the value of money is based almost entirely on trust and no physical commodities, and also on economic output. This era brings both tremendous economic growth and catastrophic financial crisis. The power to control the money supply becomes a crucial tool in international relations and warfare, fundamentally altering the nature of global conflicts, as we see, throughout the 20th centuries, and that we see even accelerating now with the wars being back in different regions. Now, the legacy, a mixed blessing. As we stand here today, looking back on this journey, we're faced with a complex legacy. Paper money solved many of the problems that plagued ancient economies and ancient civilizations. It enabled trade and economic growth on a scale our ancestors could scarcely have imagined. It funded innovations, exploration, and the rise of modern nation states. Yet, it also created new nightmares: economic instability, rampant inequality, and the potential for catastrophic financial crisis now loom over global civilization as we speak. The ease of creating money has led to unsustainable levels of debt, both public and private. This is what we see in US, in Europe, but also for private citizens. Moreover, the story of paper money isn't over. It has set the stage for our current transition into the digital financial era. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies promise yet another revolution in how we conceive and use money. In conclusion, for this part of the evolution of money and paper money and what it is today, we can say in conclusion, the tale of paper money is a stark reminder of the global edge nature of human innovation. A simple idea born from the practical needs of merchants grew to reshape our entire world. It unleashed both tremendous progress and the potential for corruption and devastation on an unprecedented scale. As we face the financial challenges of the 21st century, we will do well to remember its history and our past and how we came to be where we are right now. Every financial innovation carries within it the seeds of both advancement and potential abuse. The story of paper money teaches us that vigilance, ethical consideration, and a deep understanding of the far-reaching consequences of financial systems are crucial as we continue to evolve our methods of exchange and store of value. So now, what can we say about the purely negative and destructive power of money? The power of paper. Paper money, introduced in China and later adopted globally, revolutionized finance by allowing for easier wealth accumulation and transfer. This convenience, however, came with the very dark side, as I was already touching a little bit. But now we're going to get deeper on the dark side of paper money. The ease of hoarding. Unlike physical commodities, paper money could be easily stored and accumulated in large quantities, enabling unprecedented wealth concentration. Manipulation of supply. Government and banks gained the ability to control money supply, often leading to inflationary practices that benefited the elite at the expense of the masses. Now we can say that, inflation as a tool of power. Inflation often results in excessive money printing, became a powerful weapon, wealth erosion. It disproportionately affected the poor and middle class, eroding savings and widening wealth gaps. Political control. Governments used inflation to finance wars and maintain power, often at the cost of citizens' economic well-being. The acceleration of, now we can naturally say that paper money, accelerate greediness of humans. The combination of paper money and inflation created a fertile ground for unchecked greed. Speculative bubbles. Easy money fueled speculative manias, from the Dutch tulip mania to modern financial crisis, enriching a few while devastating many. Corporate exploitation. The pursuit of ever-increasing profit led to a worker exploitation, environmental degradation, and the prioritization of shareholder value over societal well-being. Now we can even say the political corruption and violence. The concentration of wealth enabled by paper money systems often led to political corruption, lobbying, and influence. Wealthy individuals and corporations gain outsized influence over political processes, skewing policies in their favor. Then we can even say funding conflict. Easy money facilitated the financing of wars and conflict, often for economic gain rather than ideological reasons. Societal destruction. The cumulative effect of these factors have had profound impact on human society. Erosion of trust. As wealth disparities grew and financial systems became more opaque, public trust in institutions declined. Social unrest. Economic inequalities fueled by inflationary policies and corrupt practices have led to social upheaval and revolutions throughout history. This is typically what we see in the American Revolution. It's exactly what we see in the French Revolution. Environmental degradation. The relentless pursuit of profit, facilitated by paper money system, has contributed to widespread environmental destruction. Historical example. People can say, well, you're full of S, so now we want to have example. Of course, I can give example. The Weimar Republic, hyperinflation in 1920s Germany destroyed the middle class, paving the way for the rise of extremist ideologies, leading to the rise of Hitler in power. The Belgian Congo, the pursuit of rubber wealth led to horrific atrocities and exploitation under King Leopold II's rule. Modern financial crisis, events like the 2008 global financial crisis, highlight how unchecked greed in the financial sector can have devastating global consequences. Well, what we can naturally finish on with this part, in the part number 4. While paper money and inflation are not inherently evil, the way that humans use them, the misuse and the manipulation have indeed contributed to some of the humanity's darkest chapters. But as I said on previous videos, I believe that the human society or the human civilization is in its infancy. We still need to grow and to grow in maturity. The challenge, actually, the real challenge lies in creating financial systems that promote not only the prosperity of the few, but the well-being of many, while safeguarding against the worst excesses of human greed. So this is the end of it, part number 4. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in part number 5. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.